Welcome to this PowerPoint presentation on transitioning from DissoMaster to Xspouse. I view DissoMaster and Xspouse as sibling programs in that both had the same parent, Sav Harasemu, a PhD in mathematics who developed the code for the early versions of DissoMaster and held copyright to all versions of DissoMaster up to and including version 2002-1. So it is not surprising that despite going their separate ways after Xspouse was launched in 2002, that there remain many similarities in using the programs to this day. In today's presentation, I will build on these similarities to show you where the various DissoMaster inputs and settings are located in Xspouse. Hopefully this will make the transition from DissoMaster to Xspouse a lot easier. When you download and install Xspouse, you'll have two new desktop icons. One to Xspouse, the support calculator. The other to Xarrears, the companion arrearage calculator. When you open Xspouse, you'll find a menu item to Property. When you click on the Property menu item, the Property screen opens up. Today, I will only talk about the Xspouse support calculator. To return to that screen, select Support on the Property module main menu. I presume that most, if not all of you, are either past or current DissoMaster users. If that is the case, I expect that the main input screen in Xspouse looks a little familiar to you. If you have a look at the printout of the main screen in Xspouse, you'll immediately see the similarity to DissoMaster report layout. The DissoMaster report layout is essentially the same as that of the Xspouse main screen printout. The main difference being that because the other taxable income field is expanded in the DissoMaster report, the per child information is set in the central column in order to reduce the number of rows. In Xspouse, the per child information is at the bottom of the printout. This similarity is a reflection of the common heritage of both programs. Today I will try to make your transition to using Xspouse easier by showing you where in Xspouse you'll find corresponding DissoMaster features. If we look at the main screen in DissoMaster, the main difference from Xspouse is that DissoMaster has moved to the use of tabs and expandable input fields, whereas Xspouse uses detail input windows and display option fields that I will describe in a moment. For example, in DissoMaster, we expand the other taxable income field by pressing the down arrow to access details of the other taxable income. Xspouse, on the other hand, uses detail input windows instead of expandable input fields. In Xspouse, all of the button-like fields have a detailed input window associated with them. When the highlight is on one of these fields, the detail toolbar button becomes active. You can open the associated detail input window for the highlighted field by pressing the detail button, or you can press the D key on the keyboard or double left mouse click on the highlighted field. When we open the detailed input window for the other taxable income field, we see that the input option details are very similar to those for DissoMaster. I don't think that either the DissoMaster expandable fields or Xspouse's detailed input windows is better than the other. It's simply a user preference and what you get used to. The recessed fields in Xspouse are display option fields. The options are arranged in a loop. To move forward through the loop, press the space bar when highlighting the loop or right mouse button click on the field. To go back through the loop, press the backspace key. When you loop through the display at the right of screen and reach the data detail view, it will initially appear blank. As the label suggests, the data detail view displays the contents of the detail input windows at left of screen when they are highlighted. It also allows users to edit the detail data via this view. When you first download Xspouse, one of the first things that you may wish to do is to customize the appearance and layout. This is done via the File Preferences menu item. The first item on my preferences list to change is to increase the size to the maximum display size. You can also change the default color scheme and other display features. Once you've selected what preferences you would like to have, press OK and exit the program without saving the case file. On restart, the new preferences will be active. Now that we've set up Xspouse to our liking and have a basic understanding of how to navigate around the program, let's see where various DissoMaster equivalents are found in Xspouse by starting with the Children tab in DissoMaster. On this tab, you can enter details for children of this relationship and that of other relationships. You can also manually set whether a particular child qualifies for a particular credit if ages are not set. In Xspouse, the child details are entered via the detail input window for number of children or % time with NCP, both of which open the same child detail input window. Before showing you the details in the children detail window, I want to explain several related items on the main screen. I draw your attention to the asterisk beside the number of exemption fields and also lower down on the screen beside the hardship deduction field. The asterisk signifies that Xspouse is automatically calculating the details associated with these fields based on inputs elsewhere in the program that interact with these fields. In the case of number of children, if the child ages have not been entered via the detail window, this means that all of the children are assumed to qualify for all of the child tax credits. This behavior is exactly the same as in DissoMaster. If all of the children don't qualify for all of the child tax credits and child ages have not been entered, then manual adjustment for which child qualifies for which tax credit needs to be made in the number of exemptions detail window. Once you make the change and return to the main screen, you'll see that the asterisk has disappeared for the parent in whose column the manual change was made. No asterisk means that automatic calculations have been switched off. If you wish to return to automatic calculation mode, you need to highlight the field and press the asterisk key. Doing so undoes any manual changes that were made. To avoid needing to manually input which child qualifies for what tax credit, age data needs to be entered into the detail input window for number of children. I will demonstrate this with a simple scenario. To correctly allocate the child tax credits, it's sufficient to enter the birth year for each child. Next, let's have the oldest child being equally shared between the parents, but for tax purposes, have the father as the custodial parent. To do so, we need to toggle the custodial parent to father and to enter the time with non-custodial parent at 49.99% to indicate shared custody. For the second and third children, mother is the custodial parent, with the father having the second child for 35% of the time and no custodial time with the third child. Once we have done this and return to the number of exemptions detail window, we see that the children have been correctly allocated to the parents and correctly qualified for the child tax credits. While in the Child Detail window, I want to show you several other features. Firstly, this is the screen where you input dependent children from other relationships. Note that there's no input for ages for such children, so you'll need to make appropriate manual adjustments in the Number of Exemptions detail window on the main screen for child tax credit qualification. Secondly, the Number of Children from Other Relationships field is linked directly to the hardship deduction detail window on the main screen. Entering a child here or on the hardship field automatically enters the child in both fields. If you don't want the hardship deduction as part of the support calculations, highlight the automatically calculated hardship deduction value on the main screen and press the delete button. This resets the automatic hardship deduction to no, and at the same time deletes the hardship value in the detail window and hence the main screen. Do not zero the field by deleting the number of other supporting children in the hardship deduction detail window, as this will also delete the children from other relationships from the child detail window, which will result in incorrect tax calculations. The child detail window also provides several options for setting up the timeshare arrangements. I don't have the time to go through the details today, but will simply show you what is available. You can use the Select Percent button for individual children or all of the children. As you change the slider to change the percentages, you can see how the timeshare arrangements change the support payments. You can also choose to use various common arrangements from a table of various sharing arrangements, and you can use a timeshare worksheet to give you the precise timeshare percentages based on customized arrangements. In DissoMaster, the next tab across is the Support tab. On this tab you can select various family code settings and spousal support guidelines. In Xspouse, most of the support settings are to be found on the settings screen. If a setting is changed from the ship default, a warning indicating it has been changed is displayed on the main screen. In the settings window, the change is displayed in red font to make it easier for users to see what has been changed. Also note that case relationships such as same-sex marriage or domestic partnerships are found here. Remember this, as in the current version of Xspouse, column labels are set by the type of relationship in the case. When you return to the main screen, you will notice red labels pointing out that general settings have been changed, and for federal spousal support, a specific label is added. Additionally, you can quickly change the support guideline by clicking the label's center screen to change them to option fields. If one of the user guideline options or the formula spousal support is selected, input windows for these are on the main toolbar. The formula spousal support option allows customizing the spousal support formula by changing the method of adjustment for child support and varying the percentages. Most of these settings can also be accessed via keyboard shortcuts, as can various other features in Xspouse. The next tab in DissoMaster is the Taxes tab. Here various federal and state taxes and credits are set as per the tax codes. I draw your attention to the federal spousal support settings here, which can be toggled on and off. This is slightly different to the way Xspouse handles these inputs, which I will describe shortly. The other item that I draw your attention to is the way in which DissoMaster handles other jurisdictions by using an adjustment factor to multiply the other state taxes. This is exactly the same as in Xspouse, which I will describe in a moment. DissoMaster also permits entering a numerical value for the other state taxes. When this is done, it is not possible to use adjusted nets. In Xspouse, the corresponding tax settings and credits are found under Taxes on the main menu. The settings for federal treatment of spousal support is on the settings screen. Note that the cursor highlight is in the father's input column on this slide. A number of the sub-menu items open up for the parent in whose input column the cursor is in. If you find that the menu item is not opening, the reason will be due to the cursor not being located in the input column for the parent. Today I will only describe the tax settings menu item and leave you to explore the details of the other items on your own. When you open the tax settings, you'll be presented with a list of federal and state taxes that can be toggled between include and exclude. These toggle fields are actually dual entry fields where you can enter a multiplier between 0.0000 and 10.0000. The include setting is equivalent to the multiplier being set to 1 and the exclude setting equivalent to the multiplier being set to 0. To return to the include-exclude toggle, highlight the numerical value and press the spacebar or right mouse button click on the field. When dealing with out-of-state taxes, the multiplier is simply the other state tax rate compared to that of the calculated California tax rate, essentially the same as in DissoMaster. If we now return to the main settings screen to see how Xspouse handles spousal support under the federal tax code, the default settings for all the tax calculations in Xspouse are as per the federal and state tax codes. This means that you don't need to take any action in setting up the program to comply with the tax codes. It is only when you want the program to carry out calculations that require different tax treatment to the current code that you need to change any settings. For example, if you have a need to revisit an old case from before the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and wish to include spousal support as a tax item federally, you need to set Include Spousal Support after 2018 in federal calculations to Yes in the main settings screen. If you want to exclude spousal support from state tax calculations as well as federal tax calculations, you need to set Guideline Deductible Spousal Support to exclude. The next tab in DissoMaster is the Tactics tab. This is essentially identical to that in Xspouse. Both programs are set to Tactic 9 to release all dependency exemptions, then use the guideline award. With the passage of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act federally, this is just a release of child tax credits and additional child tax credits. The effect of releasing exemptions is easily seen in this simple example. If we view the proposed field at the bottom of the center column and toggle the E shortcut key to block and unblock the exemption releases, We can see the effect by comparing the guideline support values to the proposed values. The DissoMaster Parties tab equivalent is found on the Xspouse File Case Information menu. Beginning with Xspouse 2025, the names of the parties entered here will be used as column headings throughout Xspouse. Currently, column headings in Xspouse are set by the case data. In a heterosexual case involving children, the column headings are father, mother. In a heterosexual case not involving children, the column headings are husband and wife. In a same-sex marriage, the column headings are party A and party B. In an RDP case, the column headings are partner A and partner B. These labels propagate to the property module that you access via the property menu item. To return to the support calculator from the property module, press support on the main menu. The last tab on the DissoMaster New Case Information screen is the QBID calculator. Xspouse has a powerful, fully integrated QBID calculator on the detail input window for qualified business income deduction on the main screen. What I mean by fully integrated is that once the QBID data is entered, if there are any changes made to other income fields on the main screen, the QBID calculator automatically updates the relevant fields and recalculates the deduction amount. You can also toggle the monthly annual input settings from within the calculator if required. You can add PTBs, aggregate PTBs, and even disaggregate PTBs if permitted. There's also an input for patrons of agricultural co-ops. Having shown you the QBID calculator, I will also show you 3 other calculators that are found under the Tools menu button. These are a present value calculator, a future value calculator, and the Windows calculator. The calculators are also available on the Tools menu in Xarrears, the companion arrearage calculator that is part of the Xspouse package download. With the future value and present value calculators, you can have the option to specify a future value or present value, and the calculator will calculate the required stream of payments. Alternatively, you can specify the annuity due value, and the calculator will calculate the present or future value. When you open the calculator, all the row labels on the right-hand side are either options or input fields. Let's first set up the end date. Note that the valuation date is set automatically if we have an asterisk displayed by the date, just like on the main screen in Xspouse. I've left the valuation date the same as the end date in this example. I will specify the interest rate of 10%. You can now choose the payment frequency by toggling the payment frequency options. You can specify a payment amount and have the future value calculated, or you can specify a future value and have the payment stream calculated. Note that the calculations update as you type, so there's no need to press the Enter key after entering a value. Returning to the settings screen, I will show you how Xspouse incorporates the latest family code changes. Unlike DissoMaster, where you have a switch to turn on the new family code rules, Xspouse automatically switched to the new rules on September 1, 2024. With the current year being 2025, If you set the program year to 2024, the calculations will utilize the new family code rules, assuming that the time is post-September 1, 2024. To return to pre-September 1 family code rules when the program year is set to 24, there's a switch in the settings screen allowing you to do so. If you are dealing with a case requiring a low income adjustment, this switch caters for the period March 1, 2024 through to August 30, 2024 and utilizes the low income adjustment CPI increase from March 1, 2024. To return to the January and February 2024 period, there's a further need to switch off the low income adjustment CPI increase for 2024 in the settings screen. To return to the post-September 1 family code rules, you need to switch off the option to use pre-September 1 rules in order to reset the allocation method for childcare expenses. Now that we have a quick overview of how to navigate around the program, I would like to spend a little time discussing the bonus income reports. We frequently get questions about how they work and the values generated. The quick answer to that is that they are no more than lookup tables for full guideline recalculation of support when the additional bonus income is added to the base income displayed on the main screen. Xspouse has two bonus income reports that are found on the Reports menu option: a variable bonus report and an annual bonus income report. The variable bonus income report allows for monthly bonuses and to look forward using anticipated bonuses, whereas the annual bonus report is more of a look-back report. Let's give father a base monthly wage salary income of $10,000. Next, open up the variable bonus income report and enter a $5,000 bonus for any month and press the replicate button. Then press the browse button to open up the bonus income report. Although you can view the report details within the Xspouse table, in the browser the variable bonus income report opens up with the bonus row already highlighted, and you can select the viewing range and printing range. In Xspouse, the viewing range is selected in the report rather than setting the range before generating the report as in DissoMaster. As I mentioned previously, the calculations in the bonus tables are simply a full guideline calculation of the total income. In our example, if we add $5,000 to the father's base income on the main screen to simulate the bonus, we'll see that the new support values, which are exactly the same as we saw in the bonus table. Note that, like with the taxes menu items, the bonus income reports open for the party in whose input column the cursor highlight is in. This is more important in relation to the annual bonus report, as the annual bonus report only shows the table for the one party. The other party's bonus can be entered at top right of the report for two-way bonus calculations, but no table is displayed for the second party. With the variable bonus report, this is not an issue, as it's possible to toggle between both parties' reports and to display tables for both. I've skipped over a lot of ground today and don't expect that you'll remember all of it. The slide notes from this talk are available to all participants, so hopefully they can provide a bit of a memory jogger. There's a lot that I have not touched on today, but I hope that from what you have heard, you will feel a little bit more comfortable in embracing Xspouse. We're always interested in hearing from users regarding what features they would like to include in the program. So if you find something that you miss when using Xspouse, let us know and we'll try to incorporate it into an update. For example, we have already been asked for an income variation bonus report similar to what DissoMaster has. It is something that we will be looking into as an update. Any other requests, please send them to support@xspouse.com.